the 9, Neil Martin. Final row, the 16 is Dale O'Neill. And the driver, the number 17, is Joe Shepard. Green flag is out. And that kicks off another Saturday night of short track racing action here at the Big A. And Rob Foley leads him down the backstretch with Tyler Irwin playing bumper tag. He's trying to get down on the inside. They're 3 wide right now for position number 3 as well as position number 6. But that fans out, and the 41 of Tim LaFountain takes a spot over. And hey, here comes Tyler Irwin for the lead down on the inside. The youngster Tyler Irwin takes the point. Irwin shows the way. Foley trying to come back on the top of the racetrack. It's O'Neill in the 16 trying to dig down on the bottom. He's working around the 8 ball of Tyler Brissett. Tyler Brissett sits second in points. The points that are listed in your programs this evening are not correct. There was a miscue on the points in the standings. Steven Brissett is actually the point leader in this division by 13 over Tyler Brissett. Out front, it is still the 54 of Tyler Irwin. Tim LaFountain is moving in that number 41 car. I talked to him in the garage area earlier. He said that car was very strong. He only went out for 1 practice session, and he thought he was going to be a player tonight in the 50-lap feature for this Busch Beer Mini Modified. Halfway in qualifier number 1, and it's the 54 of Irwin showing the way, but the heat is on. Here comes the 41 of Tim LaFountain on the inside. Tim LaFountain, side by side, now in turn 3, drives it deeper than Irwin, and the 41 of LaFountain takes the lead over. Here's Irwin trying to cross him over and come back down on the inside. He can't do it with 2 to go. 2 laps to go for LaFountain. Irwin's now down on the bottom. LaFountain's up on top. Irwin can't get there. Here comes Dirty Dale. O'Neill is now looking for the second spot down on the inside with that orange number 16 car. Wheel to wheel, door to door through turns number 3 and 4. Off the 4th turn, O'Neill's going to have the spot with a white flag out. 1 more lap for O'Neill to try and get there. Tim LaFountain has the lead, but here comes O'Neill. Mike Wright coming through for 3rd on the inside. This one's going to get interesting in turn number 3. Here they come for the final time. Turns 3 and 4. Looking up to the top of the racetrack. It's going to be the 16 of O'Neill, but Michael Wright. 4th, Tyler Irwin. 5th is going to be Jay LaGrave. 6th, Robert Foley. 7th, Bobby Lavere. Come off of turn number 4. Green flag is out. Steve Brissett takes off from the outside. He goes to the point. Harold Lavere trying to quickly get underneath the 3 of Rob Saenz as he is a smoker in that number 3 car. Scott Richner in the 81. Thinking about 3 wide up on top in groove number 3. But it is Lavere down on the bottom trying to hold the line, and he can't do so. He had to get on the binders. Scott Richner making himself skinny. Hard to believe he's doing that. He works through the middle of the 15 of Brissett and the 3 of Saenz. A little bit of contact there in turns 1 and 2 between Lavere and the 9X and the 3 of Saenz as the top 3 cars begin to pull away from the 4th place car right now, Rob Saenz. Saenz in the 3 continuing to smoke out of the rear end of that 3 car, providing a smoke screen to Scott Richner. He can't get around.
Now, didn't he do the same thing last week in his qualifier?
Yes.
A page right out of the Wacky Races racing handbook?
Oh, Harold didn't like that.
Well, he got caught up in the smoke screen.
Yeah, that's right. Harold couldn't see where he was going, so a little bit of contact in turn number 2. That bumps Saenz back to position number 8.
That was a move perfected by the gruesome twosome.
Is that it?
Yes.
Well, the battle for the lead is heated up. Pete Blaney in the 22B down on the inside. He's going to go by Steven Brissett. Steve Brissett a little bit surprised. Uh-oh. There goes Rob Saenz. The smoke screen didn't work. Perhaps he's going to go try to cut him off somewhere else. All right, popsicle sticks are out. 2 more laps to go for the 22B of Pete Blaney, who worked his way around the leader, the 14 of Steven Brissett. CJ Lavere runs in position number 3, and then it's a pretty good gap back to Harold, who has been holding off the 11 of Mike Whalen and the 81 of Richner. Here goes Richner. Whalen is even thinking 3 wide down on the bottom. Richner on the top. Tries to get around as the white flag is out for Pete Blaney one more time around. Pete Blaney still shows the way in the 22B. It's the 14 of Brissett, just a car length off the back bumper. Blaney drives it deeper in turn number 3. Here they come, drag race for the win off of turn number 4 as Blaney pushes up the racetrack, but Pete Blaney's going to hang on. Steven Brissett second. 3rd will go to CJ Lavere. 4th, look out. 4th is going to go to Scott Richner. 5th is going to go to Harold Lavere. 6th, Mike Whalen.
Banker Orchards 44 from Morris Forks. It's Mark Lamberton. Shotgun of the field in the 08 machine. Vacuum City sponsorship for Dana Morris, Andrew Bordeaux. That's the field. 9 cars take the green flag as they race off into turn number 1.
Keith Pelkey shows the way in the number 4. Here comes Jamie LaFountain in the number 20 car. It is the 66 of Jason Bruno running in 3rd. Tyson Drown trying to move through down on the inside. It's Remington up on top of the racetrack. And Remington tries to take that spot away, but he can't do it. Travis Bruno tries to muscle his way down on the inside with a 69 car. Mark Lamberton boxed as well. Battle for the lead heats up. No longer heated up. Here comes Jamie LaFountain to the point. He takes it away.
Jamie LaFountain was able to move through to the inside in turn number 2. Power down the backstretch going to turn number 3 to the lead. Running in that second spot, it's Keith Pelkey in the 4 car. Tyson Drown hanging on a 3rd. Look out, the 54 of Tom Remington was loose off turn number 2. They're 3 deep going into the 3rd turn. Mark Lamberton down on the inside. Senior Speed backed out of it. Remington's going to lose the position as well as Mark Lamberton's coming through. Jason Bruno on the top of the racetrack. He's a little bit squirrely as traffic moves underneath that 66 machine. The leader is Jamie LaFountain in the 20. Running in 2nd in the 4 car, Keith Pelkey. Good battle. Tyson Drown sits in 3rd. Here comes Travis Bruno in the 69.
Halfway, the leader is Jamie LaFountain in the 20 car. LaFountain has been trying to get that machine back where it belongs. The last few weeks, they have been nowhere near the area code they want to be in. That 20 machine has been very subpar, and he is showing the way out front tonight. It's the 44 of Lamberton now right on the back bumper of the 69 of Bruno. Trying to find a way by, but Lamberton bobbled that time, and that allows Bruno to take a look down underneath Tyson Drown's number 6. In turn number 3, Bruno's there. Tries to get the wheels halfway up the car to allow Tyson Drown to see that he's there. Popsicle sticks her out, and Bruno is taking that spot away.
All right, Travis Bruno trying to finish the pass over in turn number 2. He will. Mark Lamberton trying to work through that same hole as the Bruno 66 is off the pace. Jason is headed back to the pits. Here comes Mark Lamberton through on the inside. Lamberton's going to grab the spot. He's going to move to 4th with a white flag out. Tyson Drown taking that 6 machine right up towards the wall. Jamie LaFountain cruising out front. He's got a half backstretch lead. Keith Pelkey trying to hang on to 2nd, but here comes Travis Bruno. Look tight now. Dives down to the inside. Contact in 3. They both hang on to it. Here comes Mark Lamberton to the inside. Lamberton's going to get 2nd down at the line. Lamberton grabs 2nd. Pelkey in the 4 ends up in 3rd. 4th, Steel Sportsman Modifieds. Again, top 5 will pick up handicap heading towards the feature event. Here they come off of turn number 4 down to the stripe, and the green flag is out. Rico Hernandez on the inside, Cody Albin on the outside.
Teammates work in turns number 1 and 2. Cody Albin gets the best of his teammate Rico Hernandez as he takes it away down the backstretch. The 93 of Chris Frenier tries to muscle a 3 wide move to the inside as Losier is moving up on top. Boy, Nick Haywood wasn't feeling too bashful there, as Nick Haywood sat back and watched the battle go on 3 wide in front of him. Playing it safe is Nick Haywood, and now he finds himself pinned behind the 93 of Frenier and the 28 of Losier. Out front it is Aubin showing the way, but the best battle on the track continues to be that battle between the 93 and the 28. That time off the 4th turn, Losier and the 28 car got around for 5th place.
Jason Durgan trying to dig underneath the 30 off of turn number 2 down the backstretch going to the 3rd turn. Here comes Durgan to the inside trying to grab that 2nd spot. Jason and his team had some work to do this week after contact in the second 30-lap feature event last Saturday with Jesse Mueller, and the 17 team getting that car back to speed. He grabs the 2nd spot away from Jason Chris, and now he'll try to chase down Cody Aubin. Aubin's lead is 5 car lengths as he works off of turn number 4. Halfway through this second qualifier, Cody Aubin's the leader. Jason Durgan chasing him down.
Yeah, some real bad luck for Jason Durgan last week in feature number 2. He ended up shooting off the top of turn number 3. And after that happened, it caused, I believe, a 16th, 17th place finish for Jason. Not a good point night at all. That ended up kicking him back significantly in the point standings. Point-wise, he is now 29 out of the top spot when he was hanging around somewhere around the neighborhood of 15 behind the week before.
Nick Haywood trying to move underneath the 30 of Jason Chris. He'll get to the show spot on the inside. Chris goes back to 4th. Durgan is close to about 3 car lengths off the back of the 7 of Cody Aubin. 2 laps to go in qualifier number 2. Eric Losier holding on to the 5th spot. The 93 of Chris Frenier runs in 6th. 7th is the 98 of Rico Hernandez. And then at the back of the pack, it's a 97. That is Jeff Claudio. Out front, Cody Aubin has 1 to go. His lead at the line is about 2.5 car lengths. Durgan has closed the gap, but we'll see if he's got anything up his sleeve in this final lap. It's still the same margin in the middle of the backstretch, going to turns 3 and 4. Cody Aubin brings the 7 car off the 4th turn. Down the front stretch, he's going to win it. 2nd is Jason Durgan. 3rd, Nick Haywood. Fourth will go to Jason Chris. Fifth is the 28 of Eric Losier. Sixth is Chris Frenier in the 93. Then it's Rico Hernandez. On the outside, it's car number 32 for Brent Jarvis. And at the back of the pack, Jim McKiernan in the number 55. He's from Mariah. And the racing legend from Clayburgh, New York, Metal Man, with the Junk is Beautiful, number 2, at the back of the pack on the outside of row number 4. All right, green flag is out there. Zach Daniels, who picked up his first career win several weeks back, leading. Ray Germain running second. Here comes the 22 of Dylan Raptoy, looking low, trying to move to that second spot on the inside. So Zach Raptoy pushed up towards the wall off of turn number 4. Bit of a slippery slope that time for the number 12 car as he was pushing up off the top of turn 4. And down the backstretch, here comes his cousin, Dylan Raptoy, trying to get that second spot, and he does. Going into turn number 3, Sean Duquette's going with him down low on the inside, and they are all chasing Zach Daniels, who is out front with the number 30. Daniels with a 6-car length advantage over Dylan Raptoy in the 22. The 18 of Sean Duquette running solid in third. They're pulling away from the 19 Vermont of Ray Germain, and then it's 2 car lengths back to the 12 car of Zach Raptoy. Jim McKiernan has the Avery Energy number 55 on the inside of the 32 of Brent Jarvis. Avery Energy Products, I drove past that earlier today. That's in Crown Point. As they work, needless information, I guess, but as they work down the backstretch, Sean Duquette in the 18, pulling onto the back bumper, the 22 of Dylan Raptoy, now looking down low off of turn number 4, trying to grab that second spot, halfway in the first qualifier.
But of course, there was a reason for you driving through Crown Point.
Baseball again. So it's Zach Daniels in the 30, leading by 5 car lengths down the backstretch. Dylan Raptoy's 22, hanging on to that second spot. Sean Duquette has been able to close just off of his back bumper, but really can't seem to make a move to the inside. He's running in that third position with a rotor number 18. It is Ray Germain in the 19 Vermont, who is sitting in the 4th spot. And then the 12 car of Zach Raptoy rounding out the top 5. Jim McKiernan runs in the 6th position. And it's the 32 of Brent Jarvis, and Metal Man can see them all. Here comes the field racing off of turn number 2. Zach Daniels holding on in the lead. Just about dead even at the line for the second spot. Sean Duquette in the 18. The 22 of Dylan Raptoy. Duquette had a good run down low that time off of turn number 2. He has the advantage going to 3 and 4. He will finish the pass going to the 4th turn. And this time by, there is 1 lap to go for Zach Daniels in the 30. Sean Duquette has the 18 car in the second spot. Dylan's running in 3rd in car 22. Ray Germain has the 19 Vermont sitting in 4th. And it is the 12 car of Zach Raptoy running in 5th. It's the final set of turns for Zach Daniels in the 30. Here he comes home down the front stretch. Checkered flag is out for the Schuyler Falls driver. Zach Daniels wins. Sean Duquette is second. Third is the 22 of Dylan Raptoy. Ray Germain 4th. Zach Rars are set to go after it in qualifier number 2. And on the front row, it's the 44 of Tyler Terry. He's bringing them down along with the 23 of John Booten. There's the green flag. So we're racing in qualifier number 2. Out front, it's Tyler Terry in the 44. The 57 of Amber Turner running in that 4th spot, but there goes the outside line flying past her. Lance Raptoy goes around. Oh, there's contact. The Booten brothers got into each other. Oh, that will not go over well in the pits. I think there was contact between the Booten brothers.
I know there was.
The second qualifier, the 44 of Tyler Terry and the 11 of Lance Raptoy, set to bring him off of turn number 4 down the front stretch, and there's the green flag. Butch Henry back tonight. He's on the flag stand, and they are rolling off of their turns 1 and 2. You got some 4 or 5 good cars right up there at the front of the field. And as we've talked about in the last month in this division, what Robert Gordon's been able to do, pretty darn impressive. If you're a regular here at Airborne, you know how much parity there is in the Renegade division. And Robert Gordon has been able to dial in the inside line. We saw Lance Raptoy had that line really cooked for about the first 6 weeks of the season. He really had it dialed in down low. He could go wherever he wanted with that 11, but he's had some mechanical issues of late. But Gordon has this machine just completely perfect. And he is running in that second spot, looking down low to the inside of the 44 of Tyler Terry. And again, a lot of these guys like to run towards the top of the racetrack. Oh, Lance Raptoy pushed up in turn 2 that time, trying to get a hold of his car. Meanwhile, out front, Robert Gordon is going for the lead. Tyler Terry, he's sideways going into turn number 4. Robert Gordon chugging on through on the inside, down the line, and it was just about dead even. Might have been Gordon on the inside by about a foot. But as I was mentioning, the top line is often the preferred line for these cars. But for Robert Gordon, it really doesn't matter. He's just picking them off on the inside. Then when he's able to run free like he is right now, he'll go to the top of the racetrack because his car is just as fast on the top as it is down low where he picks them off. There's Gordon leading by a car length and a half. Tyler Terry running at second. Lance Raptoy, got the right side tires off into the bunker. But he was able to remain at speed. And Jamie Beagle in the 19 really could not close the gap to that third place running number 11. 2 laps to go. The 43 of Josh Terry running in the 5th spot. And then the Boutin brothers, the 23 of John Boutin and the 28 of Ryan Boutin running in the 6th and 7th position. And then it's Amber Turn, the 57 and the 71 of Hunter Sawyer. White flag is out, 1 to go for Robert Gordon. Robert Gordon working the higher line that time around turns 1 and 2, a line that we've seen him work to perfection here in the past, extending his lead to 4 car lengths as he comes off of turn number 4 down the front stretch. Checkered flag, winner, winner, chicken dinner for the H2O of Robert Gordon. Second goes to the 44 of Tyler Terry, third to Lance Raptoy, fourth to Jamie Beagle, fifth.
Trying to get to 50. This could be difficult. This division is used to going to lap 15. Here they come off the 4th turn. Green flag is out. Taking the advantage in turn number 1, Rob Foley in the 66. Here comes the 41 of Tim LaFountain, the guaranteed winner for tonight, if you ask him. He runs in position number 2, and he's looking for the lead. Well, they're boxing it up for about position number 5 as there's a gaggle of cars that could potentially come out with that spot by the time they hit the start-finish line. Give it to the 78 of Michael Wright up on the extreme outside group. Down on the inside, the 41 of LaFountain looks for the lead down the back stretch as they pull into turn number 3. Boy, look at the car moving up on top of the racetrack. That is the 14 of Stephen Brissett. Look at the car way out back. Yeah, that's the 81 of Scott Richner. He hasn't been able to make any way towards the front. He's been pinned behind Matt Brusso, 26. Or perhaps he's just playing the tire conservation game. Well, Richard now takes it up to the top of the racetrack. You know what he could follow? He could follow that smoke screen that's being set by the 3 of Rob Sainz, because Sainz is moving his way past some of those slower cars. Battle for the lead and a lead change. Now here is the 22B of Pete Blaney. Blaney was fast in his qualifier, and he has taken the point over on lap number 3. Pete Blaney shows the way down the back stretch. Running in second, it is Tim LaFountain in the 41 car. Michael Wright is third. The youngster holds position number 3 down. Here comes Stephen Brissett in the number 14. He is looking to get underneath for that 3rd spot. Rob Foley in the 66 still hanging on right now, but Mike Whalen wants to change that as he's moving on the bottom of the racetrack. Whalen in the 11 car in turn number 3. Tries to get there, but Foley drives it deeper in turns 3 and 4 and then pushes big time in turn number 4 as he's got to get on the binders as he almost meets the turn 4 wall, and here is Whalen nearly pulling even. Dirty Dale O'Neill, easy for me to say, is looking to crack into the top 5. He right now runs underneath the 66 of Foley as Whalen in the 11 moves up the racetrack.
Now, do you know who actually was the number 3 in the Wacky Racers?
The number 3 is at the Arkansas Chugabug.
No.
Is that Pat Pending?
That was Professor Pat Pending.
Yes.
That is correct. Pat Pending had the converter car, number 3. Yep. And Smokescreen was one of his patent pending inventions, yes.
Nice. So Rob Sainz, we may have to call him Pat Pending with the smokescreen going on. He right now trying to hold off the 8-ball of Tyler Brissett. Brissett is second in points, but the car is not working well for him this evening. That is an evil monster right now as he still races side by side with a 3-car. Well, the battle for the lead heats up. Here comes the 78 of Michael Wright. Michael Wright runs in position number 2. And he is trying to get down to the inside of Pete Blaney. Blaney in the 22 takes it up to the top of the racetrack. He leaves the bottom open for Michael Wright. Here he comes. They are door to door down the backstretch. Throw Stephen Brissett's name in that mix. You can throw a blanket on the top 3 cars actually as they race in turns 3 and 4. Here they come out of the 4th turn. Michael Wright takes the lead over, and Stephen Brissett's trying to come with him, hanging right on the back bumper. Man, Scott Richner is still boxed as he tries to go 3 wide right now through the middle. Richner, 3 wide through the middle, is out back, and he needs to get to the front fast. Meanwhile, still side by side for the lead. Blaney fought back that time down the backstretch. He got the nose back out in front. Here they come, drag race for the lead down the front stretch. Pete Blaney takes it back up top. Pete Blaney on top of the racetrack has the advantage, but Mike Wright is much better in turns 1 and 2. Off of 2 down the back stretch is more motor. 3 wide, move for the lead now. Here comes Steven Brissett. 3 abreast, here they come. Off the 4th turn, drag race for the lead between 3 cars. Who's it going to be? Blaney still has it up top. Brissett backed off. Brissett realizing this is a 50-lap race and he doesn't need to force the issue just yet. He clearly has the faster car. He's just going to ride around and wait for a mishap to go on right in front of him with the 78 and the 22. Michael Wright in the 78 still has the nose out in front. The 22B of Blaney drove it a little bit high that time off of turn 4, and Wright takes the lead back. Well, the hole is open right there, and Brissett's going to try and fill it. Here comes Steven Brissett to position number 2. Blaney goes from 1st to 3rd in a matter of a lap and a half as he is hung out to dry on the top of the racetrack. Here comes Steven Brissett eyeing a move down to the inside. It is still Wright showing the way, but Brissett can't gain any headway down on the bottom. Here he goes this time in turn number 2, again trying to look underneath, but the top of the racetrack, the progressive banking, is helping that number 78 car out, as this time Steven Brissett's going to try in turn 3. Down on the inside, Steven Brissett in that 14 car keeps trying to dig down underneath, but he doesn't have enough yet, and Pete Blaney is actually gaining back on the 14 of Steve Brissett. Going to be a lap car up in front. Might this play into the hands of the leader, or will it not? It is Ed Brissett in number 15. He might end up picking the 14 of Steven Brissett, and he does. Michael Wright's going to be able to get around. Ed Brissett set a pick on cousin Steven Brissett. So Michael Wright pulls out to about a 2-car length advantage, and that number 78 car, let's set the field. 15 laps in to this 50-lap feature. Mike Wright shows the way. Steven Brissett is 2nd. 3rd is Pete Blaney in the 22. 4th is Dale O'Neill in the 16. 5th is Tim LaFountain. Oh, there's Dale O'Neill off the pace in the 16 car. O'Neill is off the pace. He just had contact with a 41 of Tim LaFountain. And O'Neill perhaps with a tire going down, but no, he's back up to speed. And he will lose about 3 spots in that exchange. So back to setting the field. LaFountain now 4th. 5th is Mike Whalen. 6th is C.J. LeVere. 7th now Dale O'Neill. 8th is Scott Richner. 9th is Harold LeVere. Rounding out the top 10 right now, the 79 of Jay LaGrave. 11th is Robert Foley. 12th is the 26 of Matt Brusso. 13th, Tyler Brissett. 14th, Bobby LeVere. 15th is Tyler Irwin. 16th, Neil Martin. And 17th right now is the 15 of Eddie Brissett. That's how they run. 18 laps in. Still trying to go to lap number 50.
Well, fine job so far by Michael Wright in that 78 car, the Alberg, Vermont driver. Had this been a normal distance event, would have already picked up his first career victory. But with 18 laps to go, he's still got a whole bunch of laps. Now 19 going up on the board, 31 laps still to run to try to take home his first career checkered flag. But through 12 laps, they had changed the lead 6 different times. These guys are doing a pretty good job, and we've had all green flag laps to this point.
And Pete Blaney trying to
come back. Chris LeVere is off the pace. C.J. LeVere headed back to the garage area with a 4.
Yeah, meanwhile, the battle for the lead heats up. Here comes Blaney back down on the inside as he tries to take a lead away. And at the line, they were about dead even.
Looked like the 78 literally by the bumper.
Mike Wright might have had the advantage, but he knows what he does. He's in the bunker on the backstretch. Well, he's going to bring it back in 3rd, but that cost him a position to Steven Brissett.
That'll be the 7th different lead change.
Yeah, Steve Brissett now in the 14 comes through to position number 3. And Pete Blaney, they've been slot car racing for the lead. And Blaney takes the lead back over, and he's got a lap car up in front of him. That would be the 9 of Neil Martin. But that was an ugly turn number 2 for Blaney. The car shot right up the racetrack. Now the 14 of Steven Brissett is right there off the back bumper. Meanwhile, Richner finally working his way up through the field as he works underneath the number 16 of Dale O'Neill. Richner in the 81 car is now down underneath O'Neill's 16. He takes the spot away, and he's now going to go to work on the 11 of Mike Whalen. Out front, Pete Blaney still holding off the 14 of Brissett. Blaney this time pushes up the track just a bit. And can Steven Brissett get there? No, he can't. Scott Richner in the 81 has now worked his way around the 11 of Mike Whalen. That is going to put Richner now in position number 5, and he might go for 4 right here off the second turn. Here goes Scott Richner. Richner looking down to the inside of the 41 of LaFountain. He could get picked, though, behind the 9 of Neil Martin. He's going to quickly get up the racetrack as they play bumper tag a bit. The 11 and 16 both get around the 41 of LaFountain. LaFountain had problems over there in turn number 3. So Scott Richner has now worked his way up into position number 4. Richner from last to 4th, 19th all the way up to 4th. He is the big mover in this race. This time by, it's going to be halfway for Pete Blaney. Pete Blaney shows the way at the halfway point. Steven Brissett in that number 14 car could just be hanging around, waiting to whip the horse down the stretch. I know earlier on in the race, Steven Brissett made a 3-wide bid down to the inside, and I thought he could have easily taken the lead away, but then backed off as they were running 3 wide, and perhaps he's just hanging around, letting that car come to him and allowing the 22B of Blaney to think he might have something. Maybe push that car, overdrive a turn, and slide up somewhere for Steven Brissett to easily get by. But he still hangs around in position number 2. Michael Reich still hanging on to that 3rd spot after the mishap in turn number 2 when he drove off the top of the second turn and got his right side tires and then eventually his whole car off in the bunker. CJ LaVere has rejoined at the tail end of the field with a 4. He's a couple of laps off, and Rob Foley having problems. He's parked at top turn 3 and 4 with the number 66 car. That is going to bring out a yellow flag, and that's pretty good.
Sits down. Richner on the outside of row 2. Keep an eye on that car also.
Boy, I got a strong feeling this top row is going to go. Here they come off the 4th turn. Green flag is out, and we're ready to go again. Steven Brissett takes the advantage from the top line, and Richner tries to get up there as well and follow through. Richner takes position number 3 away, and look at Richner go in that 81 car. Like a catapult on the top of the turn using that progressive banking, and he is to the 2nd spot. But Pete Blaney fights back down on the inside with that 22B. Here they come off the 4th turn. Steven Brissett's the leader, and Scott Richner has the 2nd spot.
Lead change 8.
Scott Richner in the number 81 car. Tries to fight back on the top of the racetrack. Look at the run he gets. A really strong run off the 2nd turn for Richner, using the momentum towards the front. The 14 of Steven Brissett runs in the top spot, and it's Pete Blaney in the 22B fighting back that time. He takes position number 2 back from Scott Richner. Blaney now thinking about the lead. Oh boy, look out Rob Foley. He got pretty low quick enough. Scott Richner was thinking 3 wide, but with Foley right there, he can't think 3 wide.
Hey, Dale O'Neill's getting into this one as well.
Yeah,
O'Neill's closing in the 16.
O'Neill has worked his way right back in the thick of things after contact early on with Tim LaFountain's 41 car. But Pete Blaney took that lead right back away from the 14 of Steven Brissett. Another good run up on top of the racetrack. Oh, Tyler Brissett, the 2nd place point man, will have to take his 8-ball into the infield. And that will bring out the yellow flag. All right, ready to go again. 30 in the books, trying to get to 50. That means there's 20 to go. Here they come off the 4th turn. Green flag is out. Again, Steven Brissett pulls away off the start. Scott Richner is going to hold down on the inside if he can make it stick. No. Scott Richner stays in 2nd, but Pete Blaney's trying to move up on top as well. Blaney's 22 car seems to be hooked up top and on the bottom. It's just a matter of hitting his marks through the corner. Blaney takes that 2nd spot over from Scott Richner, as at the line it's going to continue to stay that way. Blaney will take it away, and he's going to try to dive down on the inside in 1, but no, Richner's there. He can't do that. Richner now trying to move on the inside. Steven Brissett holding him off for that position right now. As here's Blaney again taking position number 2 away from Richner. Richner was much stronger in turns 1 and 2, but in 3 and 4, Blaney drives it deeper, and at the line, Blaney still has position number 2. Dale O'Neill runs in position number 4 with a 16. Blaney that time got the right side tires off the top of turn number 2. That cost him a couple of car lengths, but he's fighting right back, driving it deep into turn 3 once again. That is the key to Pete Blaney right now. He can get that car through the corner, but Scott Richner is having to let off sooner than that 22B. Steve Brissett still shows the way in the 14. A bobble that time from Brissett. Richner sees that and looks down to the inside. They race into turn number 3. Brissett drives it just a bit deeper. He shuts the door on Richner as Richner looked underneath. And here they come off the 4th turn. The hole's back open again. And at the line, it's still Steven Brissett by about a quarter of the car. Scott Richner is door to door in turn number 2, but this is where Richner's been strong, driving off the 2nd turn. Although Steven Brissett fights right back in turn number 3, drives it a little bit deeper than Richner does. But in the middle of the corner, that's where that 14 car pushes just a bit, and that allows the 81 to drive right on by on lap number 35. Well, from here on out, it's the regular distance for the Mini Modified, 15 laps. They've got 15 laps. Oh, and there goes Michael Wright again. Michael Wright in the 78 car is off in the bunker, and he was at one point in position number 3, and he has now fallen back to position number 10. Let's set the field with 14 laps to go here in the Busch Beer Mini Modified 50-lap feature. Richner shows the way. Steve Brissett is second. Third is Pete Blaney. Dale O'Neill fourth. Fifth right now is Mike Whalen. Harold LeVere is sixth. Seventh is the 41 of LaFountain. Eighth is Bobby LeVere in the 5 car. Ninth is Manny Brusso in the 26. And 10th is Michael Wright in the 78. 11th is the 79 of Jay LaGrave. The 66 of Rob Foley is 12th. 13th, Tyler Irwin in the 54. And 14th right now, the 9 of Neil Martin. Those are the cars remaining running on the track. And that is the running order. Coming up on 10 laps to go, the 81 of Richner has put himself in a strong position. He didn't really force the issue early, but down the stretch, he's pulled out the whip, and he is beginning to pull away from the 14 of Brissett. Brissett with power plant issues last week on that 14 car. They've got a new motor in. And the word was that motor they thought was going to be real strong for him. It may be strong, but it's not as strong as Richner's 81 right now, as it's about a 4 to 5 car length disadvantage for the 14 of Steve Brissett. Pete Blaney has cooled off in that 22B car. He was hot and moving towards the front, but he is now stationary in position number 3, as he is 3 car lengths off the back bumper, the 14 of Brissett. And then Dale O'Neill, who runs in 4th, is another 5 or 6 back behind the 22B of Blaney. O'Neill not really gaining any ground towards the front of the race. 10 laps to go last time around. Bobby LeVere used the chrome horn a little bit on the 41 of LaFountain. Bobby trying to find a way by in that neon number 5 car. And he using the chrome horn, again trying to get around Tim LaFountain in the 41. They race down the backstretch into turn number 3. Bobby on the bottom, LaFountain up on top. Bobby's going to be able to get around without a problem, but LaFountain trying to fight back up on top of the racetrack. And LaFountain will end up giving that spot away to Bobby in the 5. Pete Blaney now trying to make a move on the 14 of Steve Brissett. Brissett up on top, Blaney down on the bottom in the 22. Here comes Blaney, and Blaney takes position number 2 away at the line. Position 2 goes to Blaney. Brissett back to 3rd. Oh, that time Blaney in turn 2 drove the car a bit high, but Steve Brissett not able to capitalize on that mistake by the 22 of Blaney. Out front, it's Richner continuing to pull away. He's now 7 to 8 car lengths out ahead of the 22B of Blaney. But Blaney, give him credit, one of his better runs this season, able to work his way back by the 14 of Steve Brissett. As here comes Dale O'Neill in the 16, reeling in the 14 of Steve Brissett. O'Neill in that 16 is going to take it up to the top of the racetrack, try to diamond the corner. This time by 5 laps to go for the Great Babe Scott Richner. 5 to go. Blaney still holds on. Here comes Dale O'Neill. Dirty Dale looks underneath the 14 of Steve Brissett. He can't make it stick off the second turn, so he's going to have to race into turn 3. O'Neill getting out of it a little bit earlier, carrying more speed through the corner. Here he comes, digging deep down underneath, and he can't get there off the 4th turn. So Blaney now a couple of car lengths out in front of the 14 of Brissett. Here comes Dale O'Neill though. Brissett left the hole open. And here comes O'Neill trying to dig underneath, but Brissett a little bit more motor down the backstretch, drives it deep into turn 3. Here is Brissett. Brissett trying to get it to stick down on the bottom of the racetrack. Meanwhile, contact between the LeVeres. Bobby with a bit of a bump to Father Harold. I'm sure they won't be too pleased over in the LeVere camp if there would be a wreck between those two drivers, as they continue to run in front of one another. Harold right now besting Bobby. Harold in the 9X and Bobby in the 5 car. Popsicle stick's going to be out this time around for the 81 of Richner. 2 laps to go for Scott Richner in the number 81 car. Richner started at the back of this one and methodically and slowly worked his way to the front. And he sees the white flag will follow him around for his final lap. Scott Richner on board the Bolac Excavation Bushy's Auto Repair number 81 car is looking for victory number 4 on the year. And he's got half a lap to go before he gets that. Here is Dale O'Neill in the 16. Thought he had a look underneath Steve Brissett for third place. But here comes the winner, Scott Richner. Richner wins it, second to Pete Blaney. Third is going to be Stephen Brissett. Fourth, Dale O'Neill. Fifth will go to Mike Whalen in the number 11 car. Sixth is going to be Harold LeVere. Seventh, Bobby. Eighth, Tim LaFountain. Ninth, Matt Brusso. And rounding out the top 10 will be Jay LaGrave in the number 79. 5.
Pete Blaney with a solid run to second. And Stephen Brissett with a good rebound week after the disappointment from last week with the mechanical problems that they had. He finishes in the third spot. He'll increase his point lead as Tyler Brissett had problems with his number 8 car. Richner showed pretty good patience working his way up towards the front. Took the lead away on lap number.
Rob, if you can, send Ryan down. We're going to have Ryan draw the ticket for the Justice for Children raffle. So have him come down here. He'll draw that here on the front stretch. Here comes Scott Richner. He's out of his car. Win number 4 for Scott Richner. Scott, come on over here. You can get the direction from Gene. Keep coming. That's good. Now, I talked to you earlier on in the garage area, and you said you might have feared 50 laps with these tires. These are old tires. How long did you say these tires have been on the car? They lasted for you pretty well.
These tires are actually the tires that Jason Chris had on the car about halfway through last year.
So for you, you were worried that these tires were going to give up, but for your car, it seemed as though it got stronger. Although I thought your strategy at the beginning was just to play it safe and save these things for later on in the race.
Yeah, I tried to take it slow and kind of pick and choose where I was going, you know, let everybody shuffle out and give us all a little space to run.
Well, down at the end of the stretch, you felt you put yourself in a prime position. You were able to capitalize. Nice job. Win number 4 for you.
Thank you. I'd like to thank Casella and Brissett Racing for sponsoring the night, and also my sponsors, Bolac Excavating and Bushy's Auto Repair.
Nice job, Scott. Win number 4.
Thank you.
That's Scott Richner. He picks
Regular point chase for the Airborne J&S Steel Sportsman Modifieds. Here they come off 4 down. Oh, look out. Remington sideways coming down to take the green flag. They boxed up the middle of the field. Rico Hernandez took evasive action down to the infield, but we are under green. It is the 7 of Cody Allen from the outside of the front row taking the lead into turn number 4. Here they come down the front stretch. Albin to lead lap number 1.
Cody Albin in the number 7 car. Hasn't had a strong finish in a couple of weeks. He'd like nothing more than a victory this evening. Jason Chris right now runs in second, but the guy to watch is Jamie LaFountain. LaFountain was strong in his qualifier, and he is due. Long overdue in that number 20 car as he comes through for third down on the inside. Eric Lossier in the number 28 car, the Lossier Masonry car. Looks underneath Tyson Drown's TD Racing machine. Problems again for the 54 of Tom Remington, as Remington is really fighting the handle on that 54 race car. Perhaps still issues fixing that car from last week's bad crash.
I'm not sure if somebody got a piece of him coming to take the green flag, but that car was headed in the wrong direction, and it looked like it was going to be a pretty disastrous start for everybody. But the field did a nice job of collecting their cars. Jamie LaFountain's off the pace, Rob. The 6 of Tyson Drown is able to work past the 20 of LaFountain. Drown goes to third. LaFountain still struggling over in turn number 2. Here comes Travis Bruno after him in the 69. Mark Lamberton's on the move. He's on the outside of the 28 of Eric Lozier. Jason Durgan also rolling in the 17, and here comes Nick Hayward in the 29 as they're 3 wide working along the front stretch going to turn number 1. Lozier was down on the inside. Mark Lamberton now to the inside line. The 20 of Jamie LaFountain still sliding backwards. Something amiss with the 20, and again 3 wide going to turn number 3. Nick Hayward backed out of it. Hayward will run behind the 28 of Lozier. Now Durgan in the 17 coming up upon LaFountain, but LaFountain clearly is struggling with that 20 machine. Might have a tire going down. Something amiss with car number 20 as he continues to slide backwards. Out front it is Cody Albin in the 7. If Albin can have this thing with a long green flag run, he's got a very good opportunity to win it, but sideways is LaFountain off of turn number 4. That's going to bring up a yellow flag.
Durgan got him. Durgan into the
for his involvement in that incident, bringing out the last caution flag. So ready to run again with 7 laps complete.
Here they come. Green flag is out. Cody Allen and Jason Chris, the front row. Auburn down on the bottom of the racetrack. He has the advantage right now, but here comes Jason Chris as he drives off of turn number 2. Travis Bruno has worked his way into position number 3. It'll be interesting to watch a couple of cars dice their way through the field. The 17 of Durgan and the 20 of LaFountain have to make their way through the field very quickly. Out front, it is still Auburn showing the way. Jason Chris hanging on the second, but here comes Bruno with a peek down the inside. Travis Bruno wheel to wheel in turn number 3. It is the number 69 of Bruno coming through down on the inside, but Jason Chris still holds him off.
It is Cody Auburn out front. Jason Chris on the outside. Can't deny the 69 down. He's got that second spot off turn number 2. Auburn with a car length lead, working the middle of the top of the racetrack. Here comes the 69 eyeing that inside line into turn number 4. That hole closes as Cody Auburn holds the lead by a car length at the line. Auburn in the 7 car, Bruno in the 69, the 30 of Jason Chris. Travis Bruno working to the inside, going to turn number 3, dives down the inside, he's got room. Pulling even into turn number 4, a little bit sideways that time off the 4th turn, down the front stretch, it's still Auburn at the line by about 3 feet. The battle continues up into turns 1 and 2. Advantage Bruno off turn number 2. Here comes Travis Bruno to the lead down the backstretch. He'll finish the pass, run whatever line he wants into turns 3 and 4. Meanwhile, on the hunt now is the Mark Lamberton number 44 machine. Lamberton takes third away from Jason Chris. The 44 next going after the 7 of Cody Auburn.
Mark Lamberton in the 44 is certainly on the move. He made quick work of that 30 car, and now here he comes on Cody Auburn. Auburn in the 7 has now gotten that car down on the inside, but he slides up the racetrack in turn 4 once again, the same way Travis Bruno was able to get around. Here comes Mark Lamberton doing the same thing down on the bottom. Auburn is parked out on the outside, and he now finds himself in position 3.
Mark Lamberton trying to move underneath the 30 of Jason, make that Nick Haywood, and the 29 trying to move underneath the 30 of Jason Chris. He's trying to gain a spot on Jason and get into that 4th position. He's got it going into turn number 2. Now Chris comes back after him on the outside. They're both running right behind Cody Auburn, who's hanging on to the 3rd spot for now, but Haywood clears the 30 of Chris, and now we'll try to make work on that number 7 car of Cody Auburn. Haywood is going to move down to the inside, going to turn number 1. Auburn in the 7 machine moves down, takes the line away from Haywood. Haywood is a car length off the back of the 7 machine, working off of turn number 2. Travis Bruno moving underneath his brother Jason off of turn number 4. He'll put him a lap down. Jason Bruno badly off the pace. The 44 of Lamberton, he's able to swing down low along the front stretch. Lamberton can see Travis Bruno, but it's a half backstretch advantage with the laps winding down inside of 10 laps remaining now. Nick Haywood looks to the top of the racetrack in turn number 3 as he tries to go around Cody Auburn. They'll wheel the wheel for the 3rd spot down the front stretch. Still Auburn holding on as Nick Haywood tries to get that 3rd spot away.
Nick Haywood on the top of the racetrack will take position number 3 away and drive around that number 7 car. A couple of cars that headed to the pit, the 66 of Jason Bruno, also the 08 of Andrew Bordeaux. They will park their cars and they are done for the night. The car that's trying to make his way through the field is Jason Durgan. Durgan has been boxed. He was boxed behind the 54 of Tom Remington, and he's now behind Speedy Brissett 03. Durgan has really cooked that right rear tire. He doesn't have much left as that car is beginning to go away as he's had to work hard through the field, and he cannot find his way to the front. Out front, it is still Travis Bruno. Bruno with about a 15 car length advantage over the 44 of Mark Lamberton, and another 15 back to Nick Haywood, and 15 more back to Cody Auburn in 4th. Jason Chris right now is the man rounding out the top 5.
Travis Bruno maintaining that half backstretch advantage over Mark Lamberton, even adding on to it as Nick Haywood is in that 3rd spot trying to chase down Lamberton, but he's got a similar gap as the leader has on the 2nd place runner. 5 laps to go now for Travis Bruno, who will work underneath the Quadro 97 in turn number 2. Cody Auburn runs in the 4th position. Jason Chris in the 30 machine holding on to 5th, but Tyson Brown coming after him to try to get that 5th spot. 6th is Eric Lozier. Running, make that 7th is Eric Lozier. Then it's Chris Frenier in the 93. Jason Durgan trying to get around Speedy Brissett. They're racing 4th position off of turn number 4. So again, the leader, Travis Bruno, working into turn 3. 2nd, Mark Lamberton. 3rd, Nick Haywood. 4th, Cody Auburn. 5th, Jason Chris. 6th is Tyson Brown. 7th, Eric Lozier. 8th is Chris Frenier. 9th is now the 17 of Durgan, and Senior Speed rounds out the top 10.
It'll be 2 laps to go this time around for the 69 of Travis Bruno. He's coming up on some heavy lap traffic though. The 98 of Hernandez and the 54 of Remington run side by side. Popsicle sticks are out. 2 laps to go for the 69 of Travis Bruno. He sees heavy traffic out in front of him. However, he doesn't know how big of a lead he has, so he's probably going to try and push it and work his way by. Right now, he's down underneath the 54 of Remington. White flag is out one more time around for Travis Bruno.
Travis Bruno takes the white flag. He's got to go underneath Jamie LaFountain, over in turns 1 and 2. Got his tires off. He's sideways over in turn number 2. But he's got a pretty big cushion on Mark Lamberton, who just chewed up a big part of the gap. He's still in traffic. He can just about nurse it home from here. Down the front stretch, a hairy final lap. Travis Bruno gets the win of the 69, gives a push to the 20 of Jamie LaFountain after the checkered flag flies. So it's the 69, followed by the 44 of Lamberton. Then the 29 of Nick Haywood brings it home in the 3rd spot. Cody Aubin hangs on to a 4th place finish. And then I believe it's the home in the 3rd spot that will allow Bruno to build a little bit on his point lead. He had a 3-point lead over Nick Haywood coming into this race. Nick finishes 3rd. Travis gets the win, so he'll add to his point lead.
Inside, getting the gloves off. Helmet comes next. Certainly excited inside this number 69 machine. How about a nice round of applause for Nick Haywood? He's out of his car. Mark Lamberton's out of his car as well. 3rd for Nick and 2nd for Mark Lamberton. But both drivers couldn't run down Travis Bruno tonight in the number 69 car. He's getting the belts off. Here he is, Travis Bruno. Give him a nice round of applause. Win number 3 on the season for Travis. Come on over, Travis. Well, Travis, boy, was this car hooked up tonight and coming down the stretch at the end. I'm sure, of course, in these cars you don't know how big of a lead you have, but it certainly isn't comforting to see lap traffic side by side. But you had about a 15-car length advantage over Mark because this car was just so strong.
Yeah, you certainly don't know how close they are. Yeah, I saw those lap cars side by side, and only a few laps to go, I knew I was just going to stay down on the bottom. Normally those guys get right up out of the way when they see the flag, so I wasn't really worried. But when it came down to 1 to go and they were still right there, I was getting a little nervous. I know Mark's good, and he's really good in lap traffic. He's a really smart driver. And if anybody's going to set you up to get a pick, it's Mark.
And I think the key for you winning this race was the restart. When you restarted 4th, you were able to get on it right away, quickly work your way to 3rd, and then eventually work your way to the front. I think that was the key for you winning this race, being so strong on that restart.
Oh, absolutely. This machine was a lot better on the top than it is on the bottom. It seems to like the top every night that way. Again, I just want to thank all our sponsors, Bruno's Repair, B&B Trucking, Adirondack Water Systems, Shiley Fabrication, Extreme Powder Coating, everybody that helps out, all the guys in the pits, Chops, Corey, my brother, my old man, Owen, my mother, everybody that helps out, and Graham for coming every week, and all the fans that do show up here for supporting us.
Travis, win number 3, congratulations.
Thank you. I just want to thank Casella and Brissett Racing for sponsoring the night tonight. Without guys like that, we couldn't be here.
That's Travis Bruno. He wins for the 3rd time. We'll talk with Mark Lamberton.
Trucking 19, the 57 of Amber Turner. Keep an eye on the H2O of Robert Gordon, who's been ultra fast of late, and the 71 out of West Jay-Z, that is Hunter Sawyer. That's the field. Here they come off of turn number 4 to the line. Green flag. It's a rocky start for the 23 of John Booten as they accordion the middle of the lineup, and sideways over at turn number 2 is the 12. That is Zach Raptoy trying to hang on to it. He gets shoveled on the top of the line. 3 cars going for position number 6 to the inside of turn number 4. Here comes Sean Duquette down on the inside and trying to thread the needle in the number 28. It's Ryan Booten. Out front it is Josh Terry in the 43. The 19 of Jermaine pushes up the track. There goes Dylan Raptoy going by on the outside. He goes to the 2nd spot as they're 3 wide racing still in the middle of the pack. Zach Daniels down on the inside. The 28 of Ryan Booten still coming through on the outside. Right behind him is Zach Raptoy in car number 12. Josh Terry shows the way. Dylan Raptoy in the 22 to 2nd. Ray Jermaine runs 3rd. The 32 of Brent Jarvis is 4th. Side-by-side racing for 5th. Sean Duquette down on the inside. On the outside, it's the 55 of Jim McKiernan. McKiernan with the advantage for the 5th spot. Duquette coming back after him on the inside line. He's got 6 and a little contact that time off of turn number 4 between the 55 and the 18. Zach Daniels in car number 30 next in line. Jamie Begor trying to get the nose underneath Daniels down the backstretch. Duquette looking underneath the 32 going to turn number 3. Duquette backed out of it. There was not enough room. The 32 closed that line down low on the inside. Side-by-side racing for spots 3 on back through the top 10. Sean Duquette right on the back bumper, the 32 of Brent Jarvis. Jarvis loose, pushes up the track. Here comes Duquette through on the inside, making a 3-wide move. Germain goes past. Here comes Duquette past underneath. Jim McKiernan switches lanes. He moves down. That accordions everything down low. McKiernan is sideways through turn number 4. Here comes Zach Daniels in car number 30. Daniels trying to make his way through on the inside. Jamie Begor trying to follow Daniels through down low. Begor, he dives underneath. Daniels 3 wide off turn number 2. Begor's got the nose underneath. Oh, Daniels is in trouble. Daniels' car loses power, it seems, down the backstretch going to turn number 3. Everybody works around car number 30. It's Josh Terry out front. Terry with a 10 car length advantage. Jim McKiernan sideways that time off of turn number 4. The 30 of Daniels is headed back to the garage area with that 30 machine. Tight racing in the middle of the field. Robert Gordon is on the move. Gordon to the inside. He is right behind Jamie Begor in the 19. He's been able to move past Lance Raptoy. Raptoy is the point leader by 7 over Robert Gordon, by 3 over Jamie Begor. Begor looks underneath the 32 of Jarvis over in turn 2, thinking about a 3-wide move. Now moving down low. Jarvis sees him at his door. It's 3 wide going to turn number 3. Begor still with the nose underneath. 3 wide. Germain up on the top of the racetrack. Here comes Begor through down to the inside. The 32 of Brent Jarvis trying to hang on to it. The 19 Vermont of Ray Germain trying to keep his position. Still 3 wide. Here comes Lance Raptoy underneath. Booten on the outside. Now Gordon underneath. Begor going to turn number 3. Robert Gordon trying to get a position away from Jamie Begor. Begor is in the middle of the racetrack. Gordon chugging on through on the inside. Robert Gordon's going to go to the 4th spot. Josh Terry still leads. Dylan Raptoy runs in 2nd. Sean Duquette is 3rd. Side-by-side racing for the 4th spot. Begor on the outside. Give the advantage now to Robert Gordon with the H2O. Robert Gordon trying to come through on that inside line. He will have the 4th spot this time at the line. Robert Gordon's 4th. Jamie Begor is 5th. Brent Jarvis is 6th. 7th, Lance Raptoy on the inside. Ray Germain with him on the outside. He's 8th. Running in the 9th spot, Ryan Booten in car number 28. And then Jim McKiernan rounds out the top 10. 10 laps down for the Renegades. Lap 11 goes up on the board. Josh Terry in cruise control out front. But some of the heavy hitters are charging towards the front of the field. Leading that list is the H2O of Robert Gordon. Terry's lead is a good dozen car lengths over Dylan Raptoy in the 22. Raptoy getting rear view mirror full now of the 18 car of Sean Duquette. Duquette looking to the outside, taking it up to the wall off turn 4. Now looking down low in turns 1 and 2. Sean Duquette trying to get underneath the 22 of Dylan Raptoy. Raptoy holding on to that 2nd spot. Duquette going deep into turn number 3. Trying to find room underneath. Now coming through on the inside in turn number 4. Here comes Duquette to the 2nd spot. It's still Raptoy at the line for 2nd. Sean Duquette continues to plug away at position number 2. Dylan Raptoy with a good run that time off the top of the 2nd turn. Holding serve, holding on to that 2nd spot. Robert Gordon is closing in on the battle for 2nd. The 4th place runner is going to make it a 3-car battle for the 2nd spot before you know it. Josh Terry continues to pull away out front. That battle looming for the 2nd position. Fine with him. Oh, Robert Gordon. Sean Duquette get together over in turn number 2. That allows Jamie Begor to look to the inside of Gordon going to the 3rd turn. Duquette and Gordon getting a piece of the action over in turn number 2. That allows Dylan Raptoy to hang on to his 2nd spot. Duquette running in 3rd. Gordon running in 4th. The 19 of Jamie Begor running in the 5th spot. Past the halfway point. 30 laps the distance. 15 up on the board for Josh Terry. Terry working off of turn number 4. Up towards the wall. He's got almost a half straightaway lead over the 22 of Dylan Raptoy. Josh Terry is looking for his first win of the year. We've had 7 different drivers in this division. Gordon's got 3 wins this year. And the 43 of Josh Terry would like to become driver number 8 to pull into victory lane. Josh Terry continues to hang on to that lead. Dylan Raptoy in the 22 running in the 2nd spot. Josh does not want to see a yellow flag. It is really bunched up spots 2, 3, 4, and 5. Jamie Begor running 2 car lengths off the back of the H2O of Robert Gordon. Begor running in that 5th spot. The leader, Josh Terry. Dylan Raptoy 2nd. Running in the 3rd position in the 18, Sean Duquette. Robert Gordon's H2O runs in 4th. 5th is the 19 of Begor. Running in 6th is Lance Raptoy in the 11. 7th is Brent Jarvis in the 32. 8th is the 28 of Ryan Booten. Running in Booten trying to challenge for that 7th spot. Take it away from the 32. He's still in the 8th position for now. Ninth is the 55 of McKiernan, and rounding out the top 10, the 23 of John Booten. Back after Dylan Raptoy for the second spot, Sean Duquette. Dylan's car still really strong over in turn number 2. Here comes Gordon looking low to the inside in turn number 3. Bigor's going to go to the outside. 3 cars battling for the third spot now. Gordon coming through on the inside line down along the front stretch. At the line it was still Duquette in third. Dylan Raptoy's hanging on to that second spot. Robert Gordon's H2O has cleared the 18 of Duquette, now going after the 22 machine. Robert Gordon moving to the inside of the 22 of Dylan Raptoy. He'll have second off of turn number 4. Now he can begin the chase. Oh, now a caution flag would be devastating for the 43 of Josh Terry. He has 9 laps to go. Robert Gordon has moved into the second spot. Gordon, the fastest car on the racetrack. He has 8 laps this time by to chase down the 43 of Josh Terry. Sean Duquette moving underneath the 22 of Dylan Raptoy to get to the third spot. Jamie Bigor right on the back bumper of the 18. He'd like to replicate that move and follow through to get the fourth. Although the 18 pushed up in turn 2, Bigor trying to get underneath. Bigor looking 3 wide down low to the inside, backed out of that move as the 18 took that lane away. The 18 of Duquette holding on to third. Bigor running in the fourth position. In fifth, it is now Dylan Raptoy. The 11 car of Lance Raptoy still in the 6th spot. 7th is the 28 of Ryan Booten. 8th is the 32 of Brent Jarvis. Bigor again with a look to the inside of the 18. The H2O is closing in on the 43. Let's check the lap time this time by. 19.89 for Josh Terry. 19.617 for Robert Gordon. 0.2 of a second quicker. 5 laps to go this time by for Josh Terry. 0.2 of a second faster is the H2O. Can he close in at that clip with 5 laps to go now? 5 to go for Josh Terry. Gordon in the H2O is about 12 car lengths behind. Sean Duquette in the 18 runs in third. Jamie Bigor still fourth. Again, Bigor will have a look off of turn number 2. The 18 was sideways off 2. The 19 has room underneath, trying to grab that third position. Jamie Bigor and Sean Duquette running door to door, wheel to wheel for that third spot down the front stretch. Bigor has third at the line. Duquette will come back after him on the outside over in turn number 2. No, Bigor has third. Duquette in fourth. Lance Raptoy running in fifth. 6th is Dylan Raptoy in the 22. Out front it is the 43 of Josh Terry. What was a 12-car length lead is now about 6. Popsicle sticks are in the hand of the chief starter, Butch Henry. As they work into turns 3 and 4, Gordon continues to close. They'll go around the lap car of Meadowman. 2 laps to go for Josh Terry, and Robert Gordon is in the mix. The lap times that time, 20 seconds, just about flat for Terry, a 19.8 for the H2O of Rob Gordon. Still 0.2 of a second quicker for the H2O, and he is on the back bumper. Here comes Josh Terry off of turn number 4, down the line with 1 lap to go. Can Josh Terry hold on for the win? In turns 1 and 2, Gordon looks low off of turn number 2. Terry holds on, goes to the top of the middle of the backstretch. Here's Robert Gordon digging underneath. They're dead even going to turn number 3. Side by side racing for the win. Here they come off turn number 4. Down the line, Robert Gordon has done it again. Josh Terry is second. Third, it's Jamie Bigor. Fourth to Lance Raptoy. Fifth, Sean Duquette. Sixth, Dylan Raptoy. Seventh to Ryan Booten in the 28. Then eighth, it's the 32 for Brent Jarvis. Jim McKiernan is ninth. And rounding out the top 10, John Booten in the number 20.
He turned 3. They are door to door, and he makes the pass coming off of turn 4. There's Jamie Bigor. He's out of his number 19. Give him a nice round of applause as a hard-fought third place for Jamie Bigor tonight. As Rob Gordon enjoys his victory lap around the Big A. For Rob Gordon, that is win number 4 this season. There's Josh Terry out of his 43. Give Josh a nice round of applause. Second place tonight for Josh.
All right, Robert Gordon is out of his car. Win number 4 this season for Robert, and it is career win number 19. We have to keep the tally going pretty quickly now because week after week this thing keeps finding its way to victory lane. Although tonight is probably the most dramatic of all your wins this year. With 5 laps to go, you were at least 12 car lengths behind the 43. 2/10 of a second quicker on those closing laps, and you were able to close the deal.
Yeah, I tried to get as close as I could, so he'd push it as hard as he could, and he started pushing it, and I think he started backing up to me a little bit, but we've had a good set of tires the last 2 sets. It's too bad. I think I'm going to have to take these off now. They're pretty much gone, but they worked really good for me.
And has been the story for about the last month. It's the inside line. Everybody else is going up towards the top of the track. Your car is just chugging on through down low.
Yeah, if they want to keep giving me the bottom, I'm going to take it because it's working down there right now. I think it would go on the top, but the way it's working on the bottom, I'm just fine down there.
And then I watch your line when you do get to the front. That didn't happen in this race tonight because you got to the front right here. But you often will go up there, and it seems as though when you go to the top of 1 and 2, I saw you do it in the qualifier, the car's still just as fast.
Yeah, mostly because on the bottom I got to use a lot of brake, and the Renegade, these cars with the small brakes, they get hot, my pedal starts going to the floor. After a caution or even after my checkered flag lap, I got to pump my brake a few times so I can stop here because I've been beating them pretty hard.
So it is win number 19 in the career and win number 4 this season. Keep it up. You're on a rail right now.
Yes, we're going to try. Thanks very much.
All right, there's Robert Gordon with his 4th victory. The silver Tyson Drown, 08 of Andrew Bordeaux. Dave O'Neill's in the 34 tonight. He's from Dannemora, and it is Jason Bruno in the 66 from Morrisonville. That's the field. Joyce Hartley waves the green flag, and they are off in this 25-lap Challenge Series event.
Mark Lamberton shows the way in the number 44. Not for long, though, because the yellow flag comes out as that start was not even. Lamberton with too much of a jump down on the inside, and they will try it again.
So Mark Lamberton in the 44 and Jason Durgan in the 17. We'll try to stay better balanced along that front road, close together as we take 2 on the start of the race. 2 fast cars that could certainly end up in victory lane. I mean, you go back through the first 4 cars.
Stacked deck up
and
top.
they have all visited victory lane, including Leon Gagnon last weekend with the restrictor plate on that 4 machine. So he is certainly capable of winning, and then you've got a number of other cars as well through the field that have also won. All right, here they come off of turn number 4. They're down the line. This time it's a better start. The green flag is out. This one looks like it's a keeper. It's Lamberton on the inside, Durgan on the outside. Haywood down low in the 29, trying to dig underneath the Durgan 17. Not able to get there. Leon Gagnon working on the outside of the 29 of Haywood. Right behind them, it's Lozier in the 28, sitting in the 5th position. It's Mark Lamberton to lead lap 1.
Boy, Lozier's car snapping back and forth down the front stretch into turn number 1. That's boxing things up behind him. The 69 of Bruno, 19 of Mueller had to get on the binders. They might have lost a car length, but here comes Bruno right back down on the inside. Bruno had to get on the binders as Lozier shut the door in turn number 3, but again, Bruno tries to come through on the inside. Meanwhile, Mueller's up on top.
Jesse Mueller looking to make a 3-wide move. Lozier comes back down in front of the 69. Travis Bruno has to be a little bit frustrated as they work off of 2 down the backstretch. 3 cars battling for that 5th position. It's the 28 of Lozier, the 19 of Mueller, and the 69 of Travis Bruno.
Mark Lamberton in the 44 out front trying to pull away. The 17 of Jason Durgan runs in second. Haywood is third with a 4 of Gagnon trying to run on the back bumper of Nick Haywood.
And I'm told it's Pierre Berthiaume who is driving the 28 tonight. So Pierre Berthiaume on board the 28 car. Pierre, of course, a veteran of the 358 battles here at Airborne. Berthiaume running in the 5th spot in that 28 right now, holding off Jesse Mueller to 19. Mueller gives him a bump in the back saying, hey, we're here. Time to find that lane because we want to move on by. Berthiaume says, no, 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 as they continue on into turn number 1. That 3-car battle is still on.
Nice Francais. Berthiaume up top in that number 28 car holding off Mueller, but here comes Bruno. Bruno trying to get down there on the bottom of the racetrack. Berthiaume doing a nice job holding both those guys off, but here comes Bruno. Bruno is now wheel to wheel down the front stretch, and he takes that spot over. If Mueller's smart, he's going to try to hang on to the back bumper. He does. Mueller tries to come through down to the inside as well. He can't do it just yet. Berthiaume hanging on the top of the racetrack, but here comes Mueller now as they're wheel to wheel in 3 and 4.
It is Mark Lamberton with a half front stretch lead over Jason Durgan. This may be game, set, match already for the 44 of Lamberton, and he may have won it when he entered the racetrack. Lamberton started on point. He's going to try to endeavor to lead every single lap, and he's got a half front stretch advantage over Durgan, who we know is fast. The 29 of Haywood, he's not making much in terms of inroads on the 17 of Durgan. And then you've got the 4 of Leon Gagnon, who's just off the back bumper. A big gap back to Travis Bruno, who sits in the 5th spot. 6th is Mueller in the 19. Then it's Berthiaume in the 28. The 03 is Speedy Brissett. Here comes the 100 of Roger Lebrecht to the outside of the 93 of Chris Frenier, and Cody Aubin also on the move in the 7 on the outside, as those cars all try to move to the top 10.
Well, Mark Lamberton thought he and Travis Bruno were running identical lap times in the last feature. That may have been, but this feature, not the case. Mark Lamberton much faster than that 69 of Travis Bruno. Travis Bruno finds himself in 5th right now, as the 44 is in another area code. It is Jason Durgan in the 17, who is a full straightaway away from that number 44 of Lamberton. Nick Haywood is hanging around, a car length off the back bumper of Durgan. It's another car length back to Gagnon before it's 6 or 7 back to the 69 of Bruno. Problems on Tyson Drowns, number 6. He takes the 6 back to the garage area.
He's thinking about a big ham sandwich as well. It's the 44 of Mark Lamberton dominating right now. He's put Jason Bruno 66 down 1. Jason Durgan can just about barely see him. Lamberton is just cooking him. You see him off turn number 2. I mean, he is getting off turn number 2, nobody's business. Flying off the second turn. That's where he's building his lead. We'll check his lap time this time for Mark Lamberton. I don't see Lamberton's time showing up. Well, I missed it. His time didn't show up that time on the scoring monitor. I wasn't quick enough to catch it. That's how fast he went on the racetrack.
Yeah, Lamberton's lap times are so fast you can't even find him on the chart as he continues to pull away from the 17 of Jason Durgan. Here comes the 19 of Mueller. Mueller is now on the back bumper of the 69 of Bruno. Jason Bruno now gets passed by that 19 of Mueller. However, Bruno a lap down, and the next car to go a lap down is going to be the 08 of Andrew Bordeaux as Lamberton works on his back bumper.
Andrew Bordeaux goes down a lap to Mark Lamberton. Lamberton crosses the line with 16 up on the board. Durgan holding on to second. Nick Haywood really has not been able to make a move on that 17 machine. There's the battle off of turn number 2. Leon Gagnon, man, he has been on the back bumper of Nick Haywood's 29. He hasn't been more than half a car length to a car length off of his back bumper just about all 17 laps. But he really has not been able to make any type of a move. Travis Bruno still holding on to the 5th spot. And then it's Jesse Mueller at number 19 still in that 6th position. Pierre Berthiaume is in 7th. Speedy Brissett is in 8th. Roger Lebrecht has been a mover. Lebrecht runs in the 9th spot. Cody Aubin rounds out the top 10 with the 7 machine. But barring some type of mechanical failure or a problem in front of him, Mark Lamberton is on his way to challenge victory tonight.
Yeah, Lamberton still continues to pull away. But the battle is tightening up now for that 2nd spot, with Nick Haywood in the 29 trying to find a way by, but he slides up the racetrack, and Gagnon sees room down on the inside. Leon Gagnon in the number 4 takes a peek down on the inside of the 29 of Haywood, and they race into turn number 3. 5 laps to go this time around for the leader. 5 to go as that battle for 3rd place is side by side with a lap car up in front of him. Durgan's going to go up to the top, and Gagnon's going to try to squeeze Haywood up a bit. He does, so now Gagnon runs in the middle lane. Gagnon has to work through in the middle. He's got to make that car skinny. It's up on the top, Nick Haywood, as they go 3 wide into turn number 3. Haywood running the extreme outside groove, working that right rear tire, but Gagnon comes through to 3rd.
The pick ended up hurting Nick Haywood, who now dives down to the inside in turns 1 and 2. Gagnon's going to go, Durgan pushed up, got a piece of Gagnon on the outside. Gagnon got on the binders to collect that car. Haywood wasn't able to close to the inside as he had to get on the binders trying to react as well. As the leaders work, Mark Lamberton's already working off of turn number 2. The best battle on the track has been for that 2nd position. Jason Durgan holding on. Here comes Mark Lamberton off of turn number 4. Popsicle sticks are out. Dominating performance continues for Mark Lamberton. Less than 2 to go. The best battle on the racetrack still is for the 2nd position. Jason Durgan in the 17, Leon Gagnon in car number 4. Gagnon looking low this time off turn number 2. Durgan goes to the top. Gagnon can't close in though. Now Gagnon will go back down to the inside. The white flag on the field. Mark Lamberton already off of turn 2. The battle for 2nd still on. We'll go back to the leader. Here is Lamberton. He can coast to home just about from this position. Lamberton through turn number 4 down the front stretch. The checkered flag is out. Mark Lamberton is going to win it. Lamberton with a dominating win in the 44, finishing in the 2nd spot. Jason Durgan's going to hold on to 2nd. Leon Gagnon is 3rd. 4th, it's the 29 of Nick Haywood. 5th is the 69 of Travis Bruno. Jesse Mueller is 6th. 7th will go to the 03, I believe, of Speedy Brissett. Then it's Petey Rote. Starting on the pole, he led all 25 laps. A green to checkers win for Mark Lamberton in the number 44. Jason Durgan holds on to the second spot. Leon Gagne, who was pressing to gain that second position, ends up in third. Nick Haywood fourth. And Travis Bruno in the fifth position. Jesse Mueller just outside the fifth spot ends up in sixth.
As he was able to pull away by a straightaway. Here he is. Let's give him a nice round of applause. Mark Lamberton is out of the car. He picks up another victory this season. All right, Mark, come on over here. We'll get you on camera. Well, this race may have been won for you when you drew the number one. This car was dominant. Did you have to make any changes between that last race and this race? Because this thing was a rocket ship. Certainly much the best in this second feature.
We've been fighting being a little tight through the middle, so we made a small little adjustment to fix that. I don't know if anybody knows or not, but there's a guy by the name of Brian Latouche that's probably helped out more racers there is around, and he's the one that made the call to change this big change. I can't thank him enough.
Well, it certainly helps starting on the pole, but you got to back that up. You were in a different area code. I don't know if you know the amount that you had over the 17. You had a full straightaway. This car was so on point. It was so good. You really got to be happy with that change that you guys made.
Yeah, I knew Nick was starting right with us, and Durgan. There was good cars right with us, so I didn't dare let off from it at all. So no, the car was just turning so good for us. I wish it'd be like that every week. I don't know why we'll go home, not touch it, and come back next week and it'll be a whole different deal. So I want to thank all the sponsors again, the sponsors of the night, all my sponsors, my crew. We couldn't do this without all the help. Especially want to thank my girlfriend, Julie. We were up at 4:30 this morning pulling the motor out of this thing to make sure it was getting going. So just got to thank everybody who puts a lot of effort into this deal.
Fourth win of the year for you, Mark. Nice job.
Thanks.
That's Mark Lamberton. He picks up yet another victory.